Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. Imagine waking up every day feeling that your true self isn't fully human. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of therianthropy, where individuals identify as part non-human animal.
And this isn't just some passing trend or casual interest. We're talking about a deeply felt identity that shapes how these individuals experience the world.
By the end of this episode, you'll understand what therianthropy really means, the science behind it, and why it matters in our understanding of human identity.
Let's start with the basics. Therianthropy is the phenomenon where a person identifies in varying degrees as a non-human animal.
That's fascinating. But to be clear, we're not talking about people who think they physically transform into animals, right?
Exactly. The Therian community is very clear that physical transformation is impossible. It's about identity and internal experience.
You know, this reminds me of ancient mythology where humans transformed into animals. How does that connect to modern therianthropy?
While therianthropy has historical roots in mythology worldwide, today's community approaches it very differently, as an identity rather than a physical transformation.
What kinds of animals do therians typically identify with?
Research shows that canids, that's wolves, dogs, and similar animals, are most common, followed closely by felines.
Interesting. And I imagine this must affect how they see themselves and interact with the world?
Absolutely. Studies have identified common themes, including species dysphoria, unique social challenges, and a deep connection to nature.
Wait, species dysphoria? Can you explain that?
It's a feeling of disconnect between one's human body and their internal sense of species identity.
That must be challenging to navigate in everyday life.
It can be. Many therians face significant social obstacles, particularly the fear of being misunderstood or labeled as mentally ill.
Speaking of mental health, what does the research say about that?
This is really interesting. A study from the University of Northampton found that being a therian might actually serve as a protective factor for some individuals.
A protective factor? How so?
The research showed that therian identity moderated the relationship between autism and autonomy, potentially helping individuals cope better with certain challenges.
That's fascinating. It really challenges the assumption that this is somehow harmful.
Exactly. Though therians did score lower on variables associated with positive social relationships, which makes sense given the stigma they often face.
How do therians typically discover or come to understand their identity?
Research shows it's often a gradual process of self-discovery and narrative identity construction.
Narrative identity construction? Can you break that down?
It's about how people create and maintain their sense of self through the stories they tell about their experiences.
And how does that work specifically for therians?
Studies have found they often describe early experiences of feeling different, followed by a gradual understanding of their non-human identity.
I've heard there's sometimes confusion between therians and other groups. Can you clarify that?
Yes, therians are often confused with otherkin or furries, but these are distinct communities with different experiences and identities.
What's the main difference?
Therians specifically identify with real earthly animals, while otherkin might identify with mythical creatures, and furries are more about interest in anthropomorphic characters.
How do therians typically interact with or find others who share their identity?
Many find community online, where they can safely discuss their experiences and connect with others who understand.
And what kinds of discussions typically happen in these communities?
They often share experiences of species dysphoria, discuss ways to navigate social challenges, and support each other's identity journeys.
It sounds like these communities play a crucial role in personal development.
Absolutely. Research shows that having a supportive community can be vital for identity development and emotional well-being.
What about the academic research into therianthropy? What's that like?
It's still a relatively new field, but there's growing academic interest, particularly in psychology and sociology.
What are some of the key findings so far?
Studies have found complex relationships between therian identity and various aspects of psychological well-being, challenging simplistic assumptions about mental health.
That's really interesting. What surprises researchers most about their findings?
Often, it's how well-adjusted many therians are, despite facing significant social challenges and stigma.
How do therians typically handle that stigma?
Many develop strong coping mechanisms and find ways to integrate their identity into their daily lives while maintaining professional and personal relationships.
That must take a lot of emotional strength.
It does, and that's why the community support is so crucial. It provides a space where they can be fully themselves.
What misconceptions about therians do you think are most important to address?
The biggest one is probably the assumption that they believe in physical transformation, which they don't.
Right, it's about identity rather than transformation.
Exactly. Another misconception is that it's just a phase or a hobby. For most Therians, it's a core part of who they are.
How has the internet affected the Therian community?
It's been transformative, allowing Therians to find others like them and build supportive communities they might never have found otherwise.
That must be incredibly validating.
Yes, many Therians report that finding others like them was a crucial moment in accepting their identity.
What do you think the future holds for Therian research and understanding?
We're seeing increasing academic interest and more nuanced understanding of non-human identities in general.
That sounds promising for better understanding and acceptance.
Yes, and it's crucial for developing better support systems and reducing stigma.
As we wrap up, what's the most important thing for people to understand about therianthropy?
That it's a genuine identity deserving of respect and understanding, not a delusion or a phase.
And that understanding starts with listening and learning, which is exactly what we've done today.
Absolutely. The research shows that acceptance and understanding can make a real difference in Therians' well-being.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. Remember,